is bad in some ways, but I'm trying to do something.
These people are using our own laws against us, and they're taking advantage of our laws and manipulating people who are.
Whether it be the COVID stuff, the China stuff, you know, I can't believe what I just read about I want to make sure I say this right because these people deserve their name to be so right. What was it called? The Falun Gong?
Falun Gong, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know a lot about this. Jeffrey was just talking to me about it before this, and so before we started doing this podcast, and I started doing a little research on it, and I was absolutely shocked at what I found, what I figured out. And these people basically practiced a really good form of health. They weren't very religious. They were non-secular. There was a little bit of a religion there because the people were being the way they were following a doctrine, I guess you could say. But there wasn't even that really. From what I read, there's a whole documentary about it that I plan on watching now. It's called False Fire. And so what happened was in, I want to say it was around 93 or so, they were being praised because there was there was thousands and thousands of people in this Falun Gong, and people that had started practicing this lifestyle started getting over all kinds of illnesses and diseases, and they were cancer-free. People that had cancer started practicing this Falun Gong, and there's noted cases of it that they were no longer had cancer and stuff like that. And the Chinese government was praising them. But within this guy named Jiang Zemin was the prime minister of China at that time from 1993 to 2003. Between there, somehow, religion became a really big issue in the Communist Chinese Party, and they just declared them to be a religion. And so when that happened, they started persecuting these people like no other and put them into slave camps and began harvesting their organs. And
what year did the current prime minister take?
I didn't look that up. It's been about
2004. It must be because he's.
Yeah, no, he's even worse. Trust me, it gets worse. The organ harvesting started then, but it's going on still today. And there's people getting killed. And that was how they started demonizing these people. And I wanted just to bring this up because I see similarities in what's happening to us right now in this country. They're using the same kind of playbook. And so these people they suddenly started staging things, and that's what this false fire thing documentary gets into. The Communist Chinese Party started staging things where these Falun Gong people were committing suicide and setting themselves on fire and stuff like that. It made them look like radical nuts to the rest of the Chinese people. Mainly, I think because of pharmaceutical industry, they were able to get around that. They weren't dependent on any kind of medicine at all. They were just eating and living healthy. And so, so they started setting people on fire, and then they would have the cops there. It is a false flag, just like we see. I mean, you can go on about false flags all day long, I know. But it was just like that. They did a false flag thing, demonized these people, and within 5 years of them being praised, their organs are getting harvested because people became complicit. People in China are already complicit to an extent. Most people, I shouldn't say all Chinese people, you know what I mean. And so, they just let this happen. And now these people are completely persecuted, and their social scores are low. Therefore, they get their organs harvested. And that's another thing I want to bring up too, is that is the same type of system that's trying to get implemented by these radical left people. They want us to have a social score. And if your social score isn't high enough, I hate to even say it, your organs could get harvested. At least they do in China. And so
it's Google, it's Facebook, it's Twitter, it's all these other groups that are in China as well who help develop all this.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
They're the ones who help develop it.
Especially
they're doing it covertly here. And just today, there was a letter sent to Justice Barr where they're wanting to do an investigation into Mark Zuckerberg because of Project Veritas videos
I saw what you're talking about.
Mark Zuckerberg just gets.
Yes.
He's sent a letter to
I hope that they gained some kind of traction, but I very seriously doubt it. And I mean, I was watching Jones earlier today, just trying to get his perspective on things. And he was saying, basically was talking about that, and was talking about how they took Roger Stone and they said that he didn't talk to Julian Assange, but then they showed some kind of clip where he was on some Fox News channel talking to Julian Assange via some TV talk show, and that's how they were saying that he lied to Congress. When this guy Zuckerberg got up there and blatantly lied to Congress, blatantly said that he wasn't censoring conservatives, and if you look at the Project Veritas videos, there is no doubt in the world. And the only way he's going to weasel his way out of it is he's going to say, look, those guys are my independent contractors that I hired to censor this. And that wasn't the views of Facebook. That was the views of the company I was using to censor. And I'm going to get right to the bottom of that. That's exactly how, like I said, I don't think there's going to be any traction there. I think it's just a pomp and circumstance, but I really hope.
It just goes to show that even in the last few weeks, the last few months, that Parlay has become so popular, and you can tell from the sharks on Facebook and on Twitter, it's a feeding frenzy. It's just they're vipers everywhere. The censorship is hardcore, and then all it lets you be exposed to are these trolls that are just
chambers. Yeah.
leftist influenced vipers. They'll just come through and just gang up. And for all we know, I mean, those are just another group of contractors that Facebook has. I mean, they could have fake users galore. I mean, how many fake users have you gotten people who ask you for friend requests?
Oh,
come on. How many real people have actually given you real friend requests in the last 6 months on Facebook?
I don't know. I pretty much got all my friends on Facebook, so you're right.
Well, I mean, I use it a little bit more than you have in the last few years, and I'm telling you now that as much as I use it, I don't get any requests.
Rarely get
nothing but fake people. It's very rarely that I get.
In the jewelry business, I'll get a few